Our journey began in the Polo Lounge of the Beverly Hills Hotel, in the patio section, of course. And we were just sitting there under a palm tree when this uniformed dwarf came to me with a pink telephone and said,
"This must be the call you've been waiting for all this time, sir."
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. That was headquarters. They want me to go to Las Vegas at once and make contact with a Portuguese photographer named Lacerda. He'll have the details.
God, hell, I think I see the pattern. This one sounds like real trouble. You're going to need plenty of legal advice before this thing is over, and my first advice is that you should rent a very fast car with no top and get the hell out of LA for at least 48 hours. This blows my weekend because naturally I'll have to go with you, and we'll have to arm ourselves.
Why not? A thing like this is worth doing at all. It's worth doing right.
Our trip was a classic affirmation of everything right and true and decent in the national character. It was a gross physical tribute to the fantastic possibilities of life in this country, but only for those with true grit. And we were chock full of that.
Man, this is the way to travel. Turn up the volume. One toast, you poor fool. Wait till you see those goddamn bats.
Sympathy for the Devil was the only tape we had, so we played it over and over as a kind of demented counterpoint to the radio.
Turn up that fucking music. My heart feels like an alligator. Volume, clarity, bass. We must have bass. What is wrong with us? Are we goddamn old ladies?
Can you hear me? That's good, because I want you to know that we're on our way to Las Vegas to find the American dream. I want you to have all the background, because this is a very ominous assignment with overtones of extreme personal danger. Jesus, just 1 hour ago we were sitting over there in that stinking baño at the Polo Springs in Beverly Hills, stone broke and paralyzed for the weekend, when a call comes through from some total stranger in New York, telling me to go to Las Vegas and expenses be damned. Then he sent me over to some office where another total stranger gives me $300 raw cash for no reason at all. I tell you, my man, this is the American dream in action. We'd be fools not to ride this strange torpedo all the way out to the end.
Really? Do you really believe that?
You scurvy shyster bastard, watch your language. You're talking to a doctor of journalism.
Jesus, did I say that? We were somewhere around Barstow on the edge of the desert when the drugs began to take hold. I remember saying something like,
I feel a bit lightheaded. Maybe you should drive.
and suddenly there was a terrible roar all around us, and the sky was full of what looked like
Huge bats!
all swooping and screeching and diving around the car,
Which was going about 100 miles an hour.
with the top down to Las Vegas. Very soon we would both be completely twisted, but there was no going back. We would have to ride it out. Press registration for the fabulous Mint 400 was already underway, and we had to get there by 4 to claim our soundproof suite.
What happened when you got to the hotel?
I couldn't concentrate. Terrible things were happening all around us.
Right next to me, a huge reptile was gnawing on a woman's neck.
The carpet was a blood-soaked sponge, impossible to walk on it, no footing at all.
We're right in the middle of a fucking reptile zoo. Somebody's giving booze to these goddamn things. It won't be long before they tear us to shreds. Jesus, look at the floor! God, have you ever seen so much blood? How many have they killed already? Holy shit! Look at that bunch over there, they spotted us!
Look, you've got to stop this talk about snakes and leeches and lizards and stuff. It's making me sick.
Sure, sorry. So, did you make it to the race?
I had witnessed the start. I was sure of that much. The flag went down and these 10 poor buggers popped their clutches and zoomed into the first turn all together. Then somebody grabbed the lead as the riders scooted on and disappeared in a cloud of dust. None of us realized it at the time, but this was the last we would see of the fabulous Mint 400. The idea of trying to cover this race in any conventional press sense was absurd. It was like trying to keep track of a swimming meet in an Olympic-sized pool filled with talcum powder instead of water. What were we doing out here? What was the meaning of this trip? Did I actually have a big red convertible out there on the street? Was I just roaming around the Mint Hotel escalators in a drug frenzy of some kind? Or had I really come out here to Las Vegas to work on a story? Who were these people? Where did they come from? Still screaming around these desert city crap tables at 4:30 on a Sunday morning, still humping the American dream? That vision of the big winner somehow emerging from the last-minute pre-dawn chaos of a stale Vegas casino? I remembered thinking over and over, you are not guilty. The whole goddamn nightmare is the fault of that stinking, irresponsible magazine.
Now look at me.